So a
Just
popular
one.
man of God called me yesterday from Port Harcourt, inquiring to know why I have dedicated myself as an instrument of the devil to lead this generation away from kingdom of God. In fact, he equally out of his heart of benevolence offered to give me a scholarship if only I can stop preaching against Christianity, because he said that the reason or what inspired me to preach
Can you
against
see
Christ
what
is because I am hungry
human
and
being
the
is
things of
saying?
life is hard. Therefore, he's going to give me a financial support and assistance until I graduate if only I can stop preaching against Christ. Then I laughed, because he has not understood the purpose or why or to what triggered us to start preaching. We did not start preaching because we are hungry. Look at me perfectly. I am not a hungry young man. But we have not come here to exaggerate about ourselves. So this morning, I took it personal upon myself to explain categorically, explicitly why we started preaching against Christ. It was out of the depth of love against the illicit behavior or our people dying every day. The compassion in our heart that triggers us to start preaching against Christ. It is not about a selfish interest. This is about a generation that have lost purpose of existence. The first reason why we start preaching against Christ is that the fountain or foundation of Christianity is built on deceit and deception to control or to enslave the mind of a black man. Why? They introduced to us a system that we lost purpose of life. Why? Christianity, the purpose or agenda of Christianity is heaven and hell. That means an African man has been programmed that his purpose of existence on earth is to run a heavenly race. That's why when we are small or when we are growing, if you go to the block closely, they ask you, why are you created? They said, I am created to run the that means an African man believes that his purpose of existence is to work for God. And therefore, an African man has been mentored through Christianity to believe that this world is going to come to an end one day. You see, this is called false knowledge or illusion of knowledge. The worst enemy of knowledge is not ignorance. The worst enemy of knowledge is illusion of knowledge. So they mentor the generation that starts believing in false illusions, losing or lacking purpose of life. And as long as we believe that this world is going to come to an end, an African man is not exploring the life resident in his DNA to create the world which he wants to exist in or which his generation will live in after him, because he's expecting that his life will end, that
Can you
life
see
will
what
end in his own tenure. So
human
as a
being
child,
is
we are
saying?
being trained or to believe that Christ is coming very soon, whereas there is nothing that is coming anywhere or that this world is never going to end. And as the white people that brought this Christianity to us about the end time and heavenly race continues to build inexplicitly, they develop their own part of the world where they are coming from. So their own part of the world become almost the heaven that we anticipate to live after death. So a black man has been programmed to believe that he will enjoy his own life after death, whereas there is no life after death. The white man who brought this religion of end time to us knows where they are going to play World Cup for 2034 at Saudi Arabia, which means none of them is preparing for World Cup, but an African man has been lost his purpose of existence. What then is this purpose of existence? This purpose of existence is to serve humanity. So the question now is, what productivity are you to human as an African man? We have to understand that why we exist on earth is to serve our fellow human being. Therefore, at this point, you should ask yourself, what value is my community or the place where I am coming for producing? Therefore, after Christianity make Africans to lose their purpose of existence, they now introduce a false ways of progress to people. The normal life or system of life progress is that you are progressing in relation to how productive you are in your society. That means there should be something you are manufacturing to aid the existence of humanity, to make life easier to somebody. So an African man came from a village that does not have a single factory where they are producing zip or button or light pharmacies na begi. And somebody there is telling people that they are not progressing because of the spirit of Iyenana Hameda, what their ancestors did. So they are now teaching people that there is another way of progressing, which is not to serve humanity. If you look around your room, if you want to discover that men are God, look around your room. All the things you have in your room, none of them that you created by yourself. They are made manifest to, they are created by men. Men went through the rigorous way of building or creating all these things. Why you are not seeing those men as God? Because you gave money to exchange their services. If you take away money from the cycle of existence, you understand that all of us are serving ourselves in a cycle. The money you are giving to somebody who you are buying something or purchasing something from is an evidence of your own service to another human being. So as long as you don't have this factory, our youth continues to loiter without job. And somebody is mentoring this youth to believe that the problem of lack of job and employment is spirituality. Understanding why we started preaching against Christianity. The second thing why we started preaching against Christianity is the number of people that dies in our states or our villages every day because of the false knowledge of Christianity, teaching them about healing, availing themselves as an instrument of healing a sick person. Where we come from as a rule, we do not have village hospitals, whereas the white man dog and pussy cat have a hospital card. Human beings have hospital card that makes them to go to hospital to treat themselves. In fact, they are under law to go and do check themselves medically every month. But in Africa, we don't have these things. We don't even have a hospital. We don't even know an ambulance. As I am growing as a child, you think that ambulance is only the thing that is meant to carry dead corpse. But now the white men know what is ambulance as something that can intervene and rush the life of a person to the hospital at immediate fast speed. But an African man don't have this thing, and we are availing ourselves to believe that the system of healing is God. So a poor man daughter or a poor man child who has a kidney failure in Nigeria is carrying his daughter to church for healing and prayers. And as they go there for these prayers and healing, the child eventually, most of the time, died. But when the rich man children get kidney failure, they transport themselves to the outside the country immediately. Sullivan Ihana Church had a kidney failure when he was ruling in Enugu State. He did not go to Mbaka for healing. He did not go to any pastor for healing. Sullivan Ihana taught him, he transported himself to outside the country for healing. Why then is when a poor man having kidney failure that we now hope on the prayer of the man of God to heal himself? As I'm talking to you now, the Deputy Senate President of Nigeria, Ike Ekwelemadu, is in prison. Why? Because he went for kidney donor over there. So that means there's a different, the rich people know perfectly that there is no healing happening in churches. That any health issue you have or any growth you have in your body is like this hair that is growing on your head. And if your pastor cannot through prayer cut his hair or shave his hair, if your pastor need to carry his head to a barber to barb it, that means your pastor cannot have the power to remove tumor and grow in your belly through prayers, because the energy or the enzyme responsible for growing the hair, which is the keratin, is 100 times slower than the energy which is responsible for growing kidney dysfunction in your belly. So if there is any system that people get dysfunction or sick, they should rush themselves to the hospital. A woman with breast cancer is being given olive oil in the church in terms of healing. So we continue losing people because churches are availing themselves to treat the mental health of an African man. So every day we are dying because we lack the requisite hospital and ambulance and free medical attention to heal our people. Understanding why we preach against Christianity. The third thing is that I hear that a country called Doha celebrated 11 years of no accidents that cost a human being life. That means 11 years of no road accident that human being died. I come from Enugu State. The most popular hospital in Enugu State is called Parkland Hospital. In this Parkland Hospital, it is recorded that every 24 hours, go and verify this now I'm talking, every 24 hours, at least 4 people are victims of accidents in Parkland Hospital alone. 4 people are admitted in emergency Parkland Hospital every 24 hours for accident. That means 4 Enugu people die or have serious accidents every day, every 24 hours. Now, if you calculate 4 people every day, that means at least 120 people are victims of accidents every 24 hours in Enugu. If you calculate it by a year, that means 1,000 people are victims of accident. Of these 1,000 people, about 800 people will die just in Enugu State. Parkland Hospital. There are many other hospitals in Enugu State. We are only talking about Enugu State Parkland Hospital. This then tells you that there is a system that protects the life of people on the road, that African has been misguided by information, because it is the level of information that is available to us that will determine our life and approaches to the system of life. So the church is availing people to believe that there is spirit of accident on the road. Normally, as we just entered them months now, many churches have already started organizing their own people to enter praying and fasting against the spirit of premature death. Whereas the white men have what is called a very good wide road for their people. In fact, they build this road and they give one lane only for ambulance. They have what is called car speed limit. They have what is called car expiring date. They have what is called traffic light. Black man, the only thing the black man have is the blood of Jesus Christ to cover the road. So Christianity is sponsoring the irresponsibility of the government in taking care of their citizens. Therefore, we are dying every day. Understand, I don't need your scholarship. I am not a hungry person. I don't need your scholarship. I must keep on preaching this message to free people. I come to raise men as God so that an African man can start creating the things you desire or the life you desire, because until we become God, we cannot explore the resident of our DNA of creativity. The quality of God is to create. Therefore, for man to start creating, man must first understand himself as God. We are God. This is a generation of the gods.